This again. I'm the Angry Reviewer, and I'm gonna do something a little different on this series of my review. I am bringing you a retro review on the 1980s film Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella, Meg Foster, James Tolkan, Christina Pickles, and Courtney Cox. I mean, as a child in the 80s, you pretty much knew what Masters of the Universe was. Masters of the Universe, plain and simple, Skeletor takes over, fulfills his lifelong dream, takes over Grayskull, enslaves the Sorceress, runs He-Man, Teela, and Man-at-Arms out of Eternia, and boom, there's your story. He-Man has to battle his way back to the Sorceress to stop Skeletor's evil rule. So basically the plot, if you want to know what the plot is, it's this. There's a cosmic key built by an inventor named Gwildor. Gwildor is Orko without the name Orko, because they couldn't use Orko due to legal reasons. Hell, honestly, this film wasn't even gonna be Masters of the Universe. If Jack Kirby had his way, this was gonna be Darkseid and Orion, with Highfather and everyone else thrown in there. But you do a little gender bending, you change a few things, and you have your Masters of the Universe movie, because the deal with Jack Kirby fell through. But that being said, we get Masters of the Universe. Somehow He-Man ends up coming to Earth through one of Gwildor's portals. He loses the cosmic key to Courtney Cox and James Tolkan, because they find it here on Earth when it comes through the portal first, before He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela. And pretty much from there, the story's paint by numbers. He-Man finds Courtney Cox and James Tolkan. He-Man protects Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox helps He-Man battle Skeletor's forces. She literally bleaches Beastman's face. They replace Trapjaw with blades. They replaced Cobra Khan with Snake. And there's other characters that, for the life of me, I can't name, but they're villains of Skeletors. You got Evil Lyn in the mix. I mean, pretty much, it's a live-action He-Man story with a few tweaks and twists here. Like, for example, the first noticeable thing you're going to notice, there's no Cringer. Second noticeable thing you're going to notice, there's no Marlena and King Randor. They don't speak of them. They don't speak of Ram Man. They don't speak of, you name it, they don't speak of them. Stratos, Buzz Off. You know, they don't speak of none of these elements of He-Man that were there in the original animated series. It's like pretty much He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela were chilling in the palace all alone with the Sorceress, and that's it. No Cringer, no nothing. You don't get no backstory as to why they're not even there. As a child of the 80s, I don't think we gave a fuck about the backstory or the explanation why these essential characters weren't in the movie. All we cared about, it was He-Man, and that was it. He-Man wins in the end. Skeletor falls into a pit. At the very end credit scene, Frank Langella pops up and says, "I'll be back," which was pretty presumptuous. I'm just saying, because he never did come back. Just like in Mario Brothers, when Daisy said, "I need your help, Mario. Having problem in the Mushroom Kingdom." That was pretty presumptuous of the writers of that film, that they were going to get a sequel when they didn't, because it barely scraped at the box office. Same way that this did, barely scraped at the box office. I will say one thing, the nostalgia factor is high when you watch Masters of the Universe, because you start feeling that tingling feeling and you start remembering your favorite characters in the film as you watch it. As a whole, the film is B. Classic B film. Classic B film. All the elements of fun and your childhood are there, except for the fact that there is no Marlena, no Randor, no Stinkor, no Cringer, and the list goes on and on. No Ram Man, no Buzz Off, no Mecha Neck, no Roboto. You know. But other than that, you get the three main characters. You get the three main bad guys: Beastman, Evil-Lyn, and Skeletor. Plus, you get a fucking awesome visual of Golden Skeletor, what I like to call him, battling He-Man. So that's always a plus. My opinion, if you're a child of the 80s, I think you'll love it. I love the film for the nostalgia reasons. Is it a good movie? No. It's typical 80s fare. Back then, we didn't care about plots. We didn't care about storylines. We just cared about He-Man battling Skeletor, and that's what we got. There is a plot in there, and the plot's pretty simple. Cosmic Key. Cosmic Key causes He-Man to come to Earth. Cosmic Key takes He-Man back to the Eternia. Cosmic Key causes Skeletor to lose to He-Man. And we get the classic scene, I have the power, at the end when He-Man raises his sword and proclaims, I have the power. If you are a fan of the He-Man, the animated series, you'll love this movie. Don't expect to see Cringer or anybody else I named earlier in this film. Don't expect to see Trapjaw because he's been replaced with Blades, Butchie got his ass kicked pretty easily. Don't expect to see Orko because Orko now is Gwildor. Don't expect to see Cringer because there's no explanation of where he's at. Don't expect to see Marlena and Randor because they don't explain where they're at, or any other supporting characters. I say watch it for the nostalgia factor. Pick it up. You can always find it on the cheap. I think you'll love it. For that reason, I give it an A- because this is, after all, a retro flashback. Anyone else who loves this film, leave your comments in the comment section below. This is the Angry Reviewer, and I'm out.